God. Okay, hi, it's Suzanne D. for Freshwater Ecosystems, EVP 350. We're at the Potomac Science Center in the back of the Science Center at the pond, and we're going to demonstrate benthic grab collection using ponar. So see that the ponar has a little hole here, and for storage you have this little pin that goes in there, but when we want to use collection we have a spring loaded pin, and so press that in. We have to put pressure to hold it in, and the way this mechanism works is that we drop the ponar into the water body, and as soon as it hits, the pressure is let off and the pin should pop out. Okay, so whoops.
Oh, there it goes.
Gotta keep the pressure on, yeah. Okay, so carry it over like this. Pretty heavy device. Oh boy. Okay, so lower it down. Okay, I'm hoping that technique works. Maintaining tension, yeah, maintaining tension and then letting it go. It's very good. Oh, that was so heavy. I was afraid I grabbed a piece of wood or something. Okay, well this gives me a better stance. Pulling up water too.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like I got mud this time.
Woohoo!
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Oh,
wow.
Nice. Oh, we got lots of mud. Do that very carefully because you don't want this thing closing on you. Okay. So now we've got a massive amount of mud from the pond. And the next thing we want to do is sieve the mud so that we can get to the organisms that were in the pond. There should be some little worms in this mess. And so I'm going to start with water. I don't think I have enough. We may have to go down to the pond edge to filter this. I'll just do that.
Okay.
So we usually have the sump pump, and we work with the sump pump to dissolve the mud and get it to go through the sieve. It helps to have a couple people working this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you want gloves?
I don't need gloves.
Okay.
This is my spot.
That's what I was saying yesterday.
Okay, so I've gotten most of the mud from this Ponar sample sieved through or dissolved through, but I need to get more in order to have a cleaner looking sample, so I hopefully can see some benthic organisms from the PFC pond. So I'm going to do that in the water itself. This is usually a possibility when you collect benthic samples at Berkeley or out at the freshwater tidal area, where you can actually bend over and lower the sieve into the water to help clear it out. So in this case, I stand on the pond edge. There's a lot of pond edge vegetation here, which I'd sort of like to point out. Duckweed, which is invasive, is the little floating aquatic vegetation on this pond, and then there's what looks like a bunch of hydrilla on the edge, which is also invasive and was introduced several decades ago when people started using hydrilla in their okay, so let's pretty quickly get some mud out. One more go. Okay, you can see that the sample is fairly clean now. I'm not seeing any wriggling worms. Normally we would go through the sample with some tweezers and we would pick out the really obvious critters and put them in a sample bottle. But what I'm going to do with this sample, because I just don't know if anything's in here, is I'm going to take the full sample and put it in a 1 liter bottle, and then when we go into the lab I'll preserve it with ethanol solution. And when we go into the lab and we work on benthics, we'll take a look at it and see if we can find any organisms in it. Okay, so we're back with our sample. We haven't found any visible worms, but we've got a lot of organic detritus, debris, dying plants that were picked up by the Ponar grab. And so we're going to take those, preserve those, this sample, by putting what we can, our fingers, into this collection bottle, and then using squirt bottle to try and sample down and get all the little bits of debris out. I'm going to take another close look, see if I can see any organisms. You can go to the water's edge and tilt the sieve. That helps a lot in getting everything down to one side so that it's more easily placed into the water bottle. Okay, so I think you get the idea. We want to make sure that there's some liquid in this collection bottle. And then if since we're hoping there are organisms, we're going to preserve the potential organisms by using a solution of ethanol and pink dye. And then we'll take this bottle back to the lab and we'll look at the contents under a dissecting scope and see if we can
find any organisms.